Hello everyone, Vike Throom back again, getting ready to climb up, try to clean off some of the remnant caulk / adhesive that is forming a barrier against me being able to pull the plexiglass back in tight against the frame. I've been trying to describe it, but basically the frame has a lip on it. It's basically the L shape. Facing the outside. This is the outside, so the window has to come in from the outside. And this lip right here, it has the old adhesive / caulk and all of that forming a lip, so I can't get the window back against the frame, and that's all the way around the frame up there. I've described this before, trying to make it a little bit better. What I'm hoping to do is use that lip on the top edge. Say the lip is like that, and then there's the, let's say this is not gonna work, never mind. I'm gonna go up there and try to clean off the rail so I can get the window back in. How about that? We'll start with that. So, a little history on that. Bought this church in about 2013. I had moved here in February of 2013, moved up to the peninsula. I moved from Munising. Took over a chiropractic office there that I was buying, was on paper in buying the office to the point where I couldn't possibly have gotten a mortgage to finance a home, but was just kind of looking at real estate for the heck of it. And this popped up, and it was this beautiful, massive old building at a ridiculously low price, I thought. So I wrote to the realtor and told him I thought that they had a typo. And they wrote back and assured me they didn't, that no one knew what to do with the building, and it had been for sale for years, and it was still for sale, and they just lowered the price again. Actually, it was even lower than what I'd seen. And they told me I should make an offer, and I explained that I couldn't have gotten any kind of financing on it. And they said, really, make any offer? And I said, it has to be a land contract. And they said, okay, make a land contract offer. So I did. And it was rejected because the people didn't want to deal with a land contract. They basically said if you needed a land contract, you probably can't afford to buy it, and therefore they didn't want to get in the middle of a mess like that and end up getting the building back. So, heard from the realtor again a month or two later, and they said that there was an offer in on the building, and I said, I'm sorry, I don't have any money, I can't buy it. So, waited another couple of weeks, heard from the realtor again, who told me that the building had just been struck by lightning, there was no major damage, but the potential buyers had backed out of the deal. It had spooked them for some reason. And they told me again to make almost any offer, so I made an offer of what cash I actually had at the moment. And the prior owners, who were a Wesleyan church group from downstate Michigan, got back to me and basically said, we can't take that offer, but we will take your former offer with the land contract involved. So that's how I ended up owning a at the time 110-year-old church, and that's why I still to this day own a now 120-year-old church. And that's why I'm trying to repair this window that blew out. So yes, I'm going to use the handy-dandy razor knife and see what kind of progress I can make in removing the old caulking and everything from at least the bottom lip here, in hopes that that will allow me to get the piece of plexi back in here in some way. And though it's going to be time consuming, it seems like this may actually try to work. Let's see here. May being the keyword. I did say may try to work. Alright. This is pretty good job of caulking or adhesing or whatever you would call Good. So I've tried to do a couple of live videos on the YouTube channel, and it won't let me because I don't have enough subscribers. I mentioned that in some of my shorts, so please subscribe, and I will try to get you more, better, exciting videos. Better being the keyword. I know it's terrible, but I'm really just currently using my two worst phones, to be honest. One's probably 7 or 8 years old, which of course is a million years in phone technology. And the other one is my super cheap phone that I bought mainly just to use as a hotspot because I travel so much. So it doesn't have a very good phone either, but my main phone, which I'm about ready to buy a new one because even my main phone is probably 5 years old, I don't want to clutter it up with any more apps or anything that I have to, so I'm not downloading the YouTube app on it, which is the best way to make content. So that's why I'm using my two second-hand phones. The really old one I talked about, and actually it does have a decent camera, that's the one I'm using right now. Not great at the backup situation that I'm dealing with here, obviously. But it's not even connected to the internet anymore. I just use it like a mini computer. I've got to have it hooked up to Wi-Fi to do anything. But I've still been using it for some of these videos, and it's worked out very well. Kind of have to go up one more, it looks like. By the way, I can feel that I'm sitting there sticking my butt out to get a good angle on this. I feel like Mrs. Wiggins. If you don't know who Mrs. Wiggins is, do a search online for Mrs. Wiggins and Tim Conway and Carol Burnett. And watch some of those videos, and I'm pretty sure you'll find them quite amusing. Alright, this is actually working pretty well, I think. And another thing I like about it so far is that I'm still alive so far. Good. Get some debris off here. Excellent. So as soon as I get this window repaired, I'm kind of concurrently working on, I've got to patch a couple little pipes to get my best bathroom functioning in here. And because it was a church, it didn't have a full bath, it only had toilets and sinks. But right now, I'm really kind of running without a full bath in here. Actually, right now I'm running without any true running water in here. So the next thing is to get blame anything except for just not being the absolute best way to do this, but it may kind of the only choice I have right now. I do think I quieted down a bit because I'm standing up here broadcasting up this window and people are out in the world and can't hear me because I've got such a loud voice, so I hope you can still pick up on my volume down there. There's some good stuff coming along here. I also have been thinking about getting one of those digital TV antennas because I don't have TV here. I don't have any cable or internet, I just do hotspot as I mentioned. But I figure if I do get one of those digital antennas, I can put it way up in my steeple tower and probably get very good reception and about any channel I want from anywhere within a 300-mile radius, probably. So that's another thing I may do to make it just a little bit more entertaining to live here. All of those things, of course, are secondary to the fact that I work a ton right now, which is why it's taken me a couple weeks to get back up here and work on this. When you're working usually at least 8 hours, I think I may have had 1 8-hour day since I've been in town in the last month. But usually 10 to 12-hour days at least. Doing a fairly challenging physical job, which makes you very tired. You don't feel like necessarily coming home and doing a ton of this work, and you also are a little bit mentally and intellectually spent from the job, and maybe shouldn't be trying to crawl around on a ladder, climb up a ladder leaned against a window, which of course is a dumb thing anyway. Alright, now I've got some tough, once again, just tough angles. Places where I'm not getting as much of the debris out as I want at a time with as much ease as I want, let's say. But of course, you always want the easiest that it can possibly be, and therefore, when it's not, you think it should be. So yes, I think it should be easier than it's being right now. Now that was just a good cut. Uh-oh. Anytime I feel any movement or anything on the ladder, or this window actually flexes a little bit in the wind, and my brain's not used to that, so it'll flex and I'll think I'm falling. Gives you that weird sensation that there's movement happening and something that shouldn't be moving is the window, and so you assume it's yourself getting ready to fall to your death. That's always fun. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with while I'm up here too, to be honest. Getting some pretty good stuff off here though. Just keep trimming away. Just keep trimming, just keep trimming. Sorry, I know it's starting to, my conversation's starting to die off. I know this is not mesmerizing viewing without some form of narration. But I gotta tell you, in the overall scheme of things, I do think this is working better than I probably expected it to. I am making pretty good progress. It's just tedious, which is not one of my strong points, dealing with tedious. The other good news is, and I this up, but I haven't cut my thumb off yet. Another borderline miracle for knowing my history and impatience and illogical reasoning at times. There's some good stuff coming off. Couple good cuts there. Yeah. And lastly, I keep filming this because I figure that way if I fall, there will be a record for somebody to see what happened. That way, actually that's why I like to be able to do the live videos. And it really could be exciting watching some of the stupid stuff I do. Yeah, I know I'm going to get this to where I think it's good. And I'm going to get that window up here and try to pull it tight and find out I missed a bunch or cut it as close to where I need it as I thought I did or something. Alright. Still good, still doing some good stuff up here. Some of it's still being a little difficult. Not coming off quite as well as I want it to. Wonder how tight and flush that window was when it came up here before. When it was in here, I should say, whatever. Wonder how good a job they did on it because I probably have more room to fudge with than I think I do. Although you should never count on that. Obviously, you probably should never fudge on things. But in some situations, you do the best you can with what you got at the time. But obviously, this is not the ideal long-term fix for the next 100 years I'm working on right now. Alright, we're getting there. I don't think this stuff, you saw me working with my right hand out where I could work better. I think the stuff over there is much better done than this other stuff where I've had to kind of double back my right arm. But, I will say again, definitely making progress, definitely getting part of what I think needs to be done. And again, I will say, I have not yet dropped my razor knife on anyone, nor dropped the finger on half or not posted, but I'll say again, I feel like it's what I'm doing is doing some good. Starting to do my Mrs. Wiggins again. By the way, you see this framework that my left arm is holding on to right now. That is part of the original wooden framework. And it's not super sturdy. The stuff I'm cutting out of right now is the exterior framework that held in the kind of frosted windows that are on the outside of stained glass windows often.